Hello. This is us. Yeah.
We've got a very special guest here today. Santa himself, David
Oh,
Lindsay.
David
Alright,
Lindsay, welcome
no,
to
we
the
haven't actually got
podcast.
Santa here. Okay, we got some questions prepared to ask you, David.
Oh God.
And based on the results of these questions, we're going to rank you on the Vikram meter, which will measure how similar you are to my friend Vikram.
Ah, good old Vikram.
Why would you say
Okay.
Vikram meter? Why not Vikrometer?
Because his name is
This
Vikram.
guy's a genius.
It's like thermometer.
He is an inquisitive mind.
yeah, the
Alright,
most
okay.
inquisitive mind.
Okay, first question is it's pretty simple. Alright? It's 5:01. I've got to start making dinner at 6:30. Okay? But I don't have a recipe to make for dinner. I've run out of my food bag recipes. We don't have them anymore.
Okay.
I have to wait until Sunday next week. David, do you know a recipe that I can make for dinner tonight?
Yes. Do you want the recipe that I would make, or a recipe that I know you could make?
I'm not a very good chef. Okay. Last night for dinner I made macaroni and cheese.
Okay.
And
Oh,
I burnt it in the oven.
oh.
I burnt it so badly.
You
it
don't
crusted
even
open.
need to cook it. The cooking is
Yes.
irrelevant.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do. I made the cheese sauce and I put it all. Okay, so I made the macaroni, and I put it in the sort of bakeware container.
Jesus, Leo, are you okay? Calm down, son.
He just got so excited at this story. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very exhilarating story. I don't
Cheese
know why
sauce
he
and
would be
macaroni
so-
was in. I put bacon on top, but I didn't cook the bacon because it would cook in the oven. As it turns out, it did not cook in the oven. So there was raw bacon on top, and then it burnt over the top because I preheated the oven. The recipe said do it at 150 degrees for like an hour or something. So I did it at 300 degrees for 30 minutes. So I thought that would reduce the time that it would take. As it turns out, that didn't really work.
It would, but it wouldn't cook all the way through. The outside would
It
be.
cooked the top
The
really,
outside would
really
be
well.
super cooked, and the inside would be raw. The
The
extra time
inside
is to get the heat to
I don't know, I
saturate
couldn't
it.
quite break through because it was just like
Yeah.
burnt on the outside. But I need a simple recipe, is my point. I need something that I can't screw up easily.
The moral of the story is, you pre-cook the bacon for macaroni and cheese, okay?
I don't think the bacon was
Yes,
the problem.
thank you, David.
I think it was just the oven was malfunctioning.
if you pre-cook the bacon, you don't even need to cook the whole thing at all. Just give it 5 minutes or 20 minutes to warm it up. That's what I do.
Okay, what is your recipe that I can make?
Nachos.
Okay, that
You
sounds
get
simple.
You get some mince, preferably cooked.
Where do I get the mince from?
Yeah. Like, does he kill the cow himself? Like,
No.
you gotta go into
You
more
wa-
detail, David.
Do you have
We
a
bought a
shopping?
cow
Do you have a
yesterday,
shopping
so-
list?
Oh.
Do you have a shopping list?
I have a shopping list. Hang on, let me just
Wait,
open
what
this
is this
doc-
shopping
You
list?
I'm
write
just
on
opening
the
up this
shop-
document right now. Hold on, I'm just writing this down.
Write on the shopping list.
Okay.
Mince. Wait until the mince arrives, due to, I'm assuming, your parents buying it from the store.
No, my parents, they don't get home until 10 o'clock at night, so I have to buy this all with my own money.
Okay, fine. Buy some mince.
Okay. Buy some mince.
Cook it,
Okay, I've got mince on the list.
and cook the mince.
Cook the mince. Should I get any other ingredients?
Also get nacho chips.
So I'll buy the mince, cook it, and then I'll get some nacho chips.
Yeah.
And then what else?
Then you open the bag for nacho chips and put them with the mince.
Open the bag of nacho chips. Okay. Is that it? Is that the end of the recipe?
Essentially, that's all the basics you need. Technically, I hate nachos, but
What the what? Why have you given me this recipe if you don't like it?
because you wanted something simple. If you want,
This is almost too simple. I need some complexity.
okay.
I'll add in some herbs and spices.
Oh, are you sure you'll be able to handle that, Alex? You're quite a simple soul. You might struggle a bit.
I've got some
You could mix in some-
oregano upstairs.
You could mix in some
perfect.
beans
Oregano
with the
makes
mince,
everything
or you
better.
could put on some cheese
Beans
with mince.
and mince.
Wait, David, what type of cheese would you recommend? Because there's many types of cheese. There's a dam,
Tasty
there's
cheese.
tasty mozzarella.
There's a dam.
Yeah, a dam.
A dam.
Yeah, dam.
What type of cheese do you recommend?
Tasty cheese.
Tasty
Oh,
cheese.
Mm.
As in the brand, or as in just cheese that is tasty?
It's a brand.
Okay, right. I'm putting tasty cheese on my list. Do I need anything else in these nachos? Here's my list. I'll read you out my list.
The
so
answer
far.
is need no.
Buy some mince. Cook the mince. Nacho chips. Open the bag of nacho chips. Oregano. Beans and mince. Tasty cheese.
Perfect.
This concludes the shopping list.
You did not write that well.
I wrote it pretty well. I'd be able to follow this today.
Yeah, so would I. It's a pretty good list.
Alright,
Yeah.
Jacob, do you have a question you'd like to ask David?
I do. Have
What
a
is your
question.
question?
Thank you. So, David, I've heard a lot of things about you. But
What were they?
One thing I heard is that you are not the first David Lindsay. You are in fact fifth in the line of David Lindsays. So, like, could you tell me a little bit about this? Like, what's the family history behind the name David Lindsay? Like, what's its cultural significance?
You asked that question several times in the exact same way, with very little variations of the same way. Next time,
Well,
just
I'd
ask
like
it
to
once.
hear. I'm curious. I didn't actually know this.
Yeah. I'm asking for the people, David.
After I tell you this
David.
story, you'd better tell me what people say about me, because I'm curious now. So,
Tell us the story.
essentially, my father is named David Peter Lindsay. My grandfather is named David Lindsay. And
Okay.
we assume it goes on like this, and we approximate, we don't know the exact number, but I think that I'm the fifth one in the line. So, David Lindsay, the fifth.
Wow.
And how it works...
My father is also called David Lindsay.
My father is also called David Lindsay, and his father, and his father, and his father, and that's five of us.
Okay.
Wait,
David,
I'm not done.
Do you think that there's, a possibility, that, maybe, perhaps, the name David Lindsay and the David Lindsay heritage dates back thousands of years? Like a secret society type thing?
I'm going to say the truth, which is yes. But I'm also going to
You
say the
believe
truth,
that-
which is
You
the chance of that is
Okay.
so infinitesimally small. I'm not even going to acknowledge it.
Does your dad have ginger hair?
No. Can I finish
Okay,
with my
that's a shame.
story?
What is your
There's,
okay, continue
there's
with your
more
story.
to the
Yes.
story. So, since whenever we get at family meetings or anything, or when my mum's telling my dad to cook the dinner or something, so that we both don't run into the room, my ancestors were geniuses. They came up with a system.
It's called the number system.
If only. Every second David is referred to by their middle name. So my grandfather, he's called David. His son, my dad, is referred to by his middle name, which is Peter. His name is David, but my mum just calls him Peter. And then I'm called...
And you're referred to as David.
I'm referred to as David. If I have a child to carry on this tradition, they will be referred to by their middle name.
Yes, if you find a suitable mating partner to continue the great tradition
Thank you,
of
definitely.
the David Lindsay.
Now, of course, the name David is a Hebrew name, which we can gather from the fact of the Bible, which we all know actually exists. Everything in
Yeah.
the Bible is true. The
Yeah,
name
it's very
David
true.
comes from the character David, who battled, what was it called? The giant guy, Goliath.
Goliath.
Oh.
And he beat him with like a slingshot. Do you feel like in your life, David, there has been a Goliath that you have had to beat with a slingshot?
He didn't beat him with the slingshot. He beat him with a sling.
You beat him with a slingshot.
Thank you,
He
David.
didn't beat him with the slingshot. He beat him with the sling, which is essentially
How come?
a strip
Okay, how
of
come
leather.
in
Or...
the Simpsons comic where Bart is Goliath and no wait, what's the name of the kid? David. Where Bart is David, he hits him with a slingshot. That's what I want to know.
That's because
Oh, yeah, that's a
Bart's
good point,
key
'cause-
signature is his slingshot, along with signing El Barto on buildings. But the actual story was with the sling, which is essentially a strip of leather with a little pocket in the middle, which you place a stone in. Then you whip it around your head so that the stone inside the pocket gathers momentum, and then you release one of the ends of it whilst flicking towards the enemy, and the stone flies out like at the speed of a bullet, literally.
Literally at the speed of a bullet.
Yeah, certain bullets.
As opposed to metaphorically at the speed of a bullet.
Well,
Yes.
yes. Like,
Okay,
metaphorically...
we're getting distracted from the question, which was, do you feel like you have a Goliath bearing down on you, David? Have you ever had to beat someone to death?
No.
Yes. David, this is a very deep question, so we encourage that you put thought into this. This is a safe space.
I've never had to beat anyone to
Feel
death.
free to share.
That's a horrible
Okay,
idea.
well,
Murder
on the
is...
topic of beating people to death, what is the worst torture for a human being that you can think of?
I refuse to answer that.
You refuse to answer that. What about psychological? If you had to get someone to be really upset all the time, what would you do to them?
This is slightly less worse, but still really, really bad.
What is it?
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm expecting something
Take your
really
time,
disturbing.
David.
I don't want to think that way. You can't make
Okay,
me.
I'll tell you what I would do. I would gaslight someone.
What?
What? I actually haven't heard of a gaslight. All jokes aside, can you explain it to me?
Okay, Leo M., you were there when I talked about gaslighting a certain individual. Don't tell them who it is.
I don't remember this.
Well, okay, I talked about gaslighting a certain individual as a joke. It wasn't a real thing. Anyway,
Yeah,
gaslighting is
quotes.
basically when you deliberately ignore someone. Basically, hang on, let me just... I've got to think about this, because I had it all in my head. I had like a 10-step plan or something. But basically, you get this person to, like, rely on you as a source of all of their information, be it, social or just generally, right? You hang out with them every day, so that they build their life up around you, and only you. And through that, you take away, their support structures. You've got the teachers, you've got parents and stuff like that. And then after that, you abandon them, and you don't give them a reason why. You just leave them, and they're stuck like a child that's been thrown off of a cruise ship.
That is a horrible analogy.
It's
It's an accurate one.
Okay. Now I've got another question for you. Okay. Oh, actually, no. Leo, do you have a question for David?
I do not have a question for David.
Silas, do you have a question for David?
Am I Silas? Oh yes, I am Silas. Well, David, what? I need to know. You're a smart guy. You get good grades. Would you mind giving the people at home sort of the David Lindsay study guide on how to prepare for the external exams? Like, let the people know how to properly prepare.
That's a great question. I shit myself yesterday thinking.
What? What?
Give the people what they want.
Okay.
Give the people what they want.
Are you the people, or are the audience the people?
We are the only
everyone's the
people.
Okay. So, first of all, You need to.
Hold on, I'm opening up my list again. My shopping
You
list.
need to get into the right state of panic. You need to be terrified.
Okay.
You need to get that.
Hang on. So, David, are you telling me you're in a constant state of panic?
Well, no. But I am.
Let him finish,
Then-
Silas. I want to hear this
Okay.
guide.
So, once you've got in that state, first you need to set out a timetable so that you actually know what you're doing and tell yourself you're going to do that. Preferably out loud, is you telling yourself, because that makes you stick to it much better. You set out on this study timetable equal amounts of classes depending on how much work you think they need, and then you work on them and you stick to it, and you will know what you need to work on. If you're not,
I see.
if you're really
So like
behind in
reverse
something,
gaslighting.
if you're really behind in something, then you get a tutor if you really need it, or you hang out with your smart friends and have study groups.
Alright.
So you can absorb the information through osmosis.
Essentially, yes.
Okay.
Alright, now, David, what if, hypothetical scenario, you don't have any smart friends, and all your friends are just complete fucking idiots? Like, just complete failures in life. How do you absorb the information then?
Like James.
Do you find a new group of friends?
Have you set up study material, and do you need a tutor?
Okay, a tutor.
A tutor is one option. Going to your teacher is another. Annoy them. Ask them lots and lots of questions. If you don't understand, ask them.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Now-
Okay. So I didn't catch much from that, but what I did get is annoy teacher.
Don't quote just that part of it.
Where does the mince and oregano fit into this study guide?
You can eat
He's
mince and
broken.
oregano while you're studying.
All right. I'd like to ask a question now.
Go ahead, Alex. The stage is yours.
Would you rather stick a toothpick between your big toe skin and a nail, and then kick a brick wall, or bite down on a nail file and rip the nail file out of your mouth?
Oh, Jesus. Oh, go on, David.
I'm imagining the type.
I'm going to straight up say I tried both of them, and the toothpick is by far the worst.
I'm choosing nail file.
You choose the nail file.
I'm imagining an extremely thin, extremely worn down one.
Yes.
Right. What about like a new, recently brought from Whitcoulls? What
Do you
about
get your
that?
nail files
I'm
from
imagining
Whitcoulls?
not biting
Yeah,
down
why
on it.
wouldn't you get your nail files from Whitcoulls? They have everything.
I'm imagining not biting down on it hard.
Okay.
Okay.
What if I was there with you and I was just holding your, forcing your mouth shut atop of the nail file, and the only way you could get it out was to rip it. Well, then what would you choose?
I already gave you my answer. Why are you changing the scenario?
He wants
Because
more.
David, things change in life, alright? Life isn't predictable. You need to adapt.
Life is
Sometimes the
predictable.
nail
Making
file
you do.
grows in your mouth.
Yes.
So
David.
much of
Sometimes it grows. Sometimes it shrinks.
so
You just don't know.
so much of life is predictable, though.
What in life is not predictable for you, David?
This podcast.
This podcast is not predictable.
No.
Why is it not predictable?
Oh my god! Nothing, I just thought of something. I've just discovered that my list of questions actually has an extra bonus question.
Oh fuck, David, you hear that? An extra bonus
Please
question.
don't swear.
Extra boner question. Alright,
Silas,
okay.
please don't swear.
I'm gonna ask another question. Oh no, Jacob, you ask
Yeah.
because your questions are more not
Yeah.
graphic.
Yes, I try. Now, David, you may have been aware of the recent controversial a notice going around school about the mandatory penis examinations going on tomorrow.
I
Very
haven't.
serious,
Um,
Jacob.
That's not a
I'll
thing.
be laughing
Yeah.
about this.
Well, did you not see the notices?
No, I didn't, and I don't believe you because you don't seem trustworthy.
Hang on. There is actually.
Okay, I'm just gonna say
notice.
this notice was actually genuinely sent around. It is a well, I suspect it's the Year 13 prank, as they look like Year 13s, the people handing them out.
I mean, look, all I know is that they're working for the school.
All I know is that this is a very official notice,
Yeah,
signed
hang on.
by Dick Islington, or whatever his name was.
Dick Leslie. Now, I actually got one of the notices brought at home, and I will read it out to you and get your opinion on it. You know, whether you think it's funny, if you think it's just ruining the school system, that sort of stuff. So let me just grab it real quick.
Okay, while he's grabbing that, I've got a question to ask you.
Okay.
If you had to take a polygraph test, which question would you fear the most?
What's a polygraph test?
You know when you, like, somebody gets a car battery and hooks it up to your nipple,
No, I
and
don't.
then they ask you, like... Fuck, sorry, that's not a polygraph test at all. It's like... Yeah. It, like, they put little electrical sensors on your... Hang on, wait, Jacob. We're asking him a polygraph question.
Okay.
Okay. It's like it's a truth detector, okay?
Okay.
And it can detect whether or not you're answering a question truthfully, based on, the electrical signals in your body. So what question would you fear to be asked the most when on a lie detector test?
Okay. You said truth detector, then lie detector.
Well, whatever it is, it detects
Potato,
whether or not
potato,
something is the
David.
truth or the lie.
What question would I fear the most?
Think long and hard about this, David.
Where did you hide Sarah Jessica Parker? He's hooked up to a lie detector test right now.
Yes, folks at home, audience at home, we indeed broke into David Lindsay's house.
I'm trying
As
to
a
decide
prank.
whether or not to
yeah,
lie
as a
to
prank,
you.
and we have unwillingly strapped him into a lie detector test to tell if he is lying.
You
to
wish.
us.
Alright, what's the
David.
question?
What do you think the leather strap's for? Don't
Something
feel,
like-
rushed to death.
Something like, do you have a crush, or who is your crush, or something like that.
Oh,
Okay.
okay,
right.
a bit of a cheeky schoolboy romance type thing. I get you.
I'll tell you who I have a crush on. Everett
Oh.
Kumaj.
Everett Kumar.
I love him. I looked at Xavier today in drama and I said, I'm going to marry that girl. And I pointed directly at Everett. Anyway. Alright, go on. Read out the notice, Jacob.
Alright, now this is a Wellington High School official notice handed out to all students. 31st of October 2018. Dear parents / caregivers of all male students. All male student penises. Inspection Day. Thursday, November 1st,
Inspection Day.
2018. Yes, Inspection Day. The school is required to conduct a mandatory penis inspection of all male students, all male Wellington High School students, in accordance to the Ministry of Health Code 69.
Why is George Clark reading me a penis inspection notice?
Well, I don't know. Why aren't you reading?
Why do
a
you
penis
assume that
inspection
every-
notice?
You're
Now
getting
back
more
to
and
the
more Welsh.
notice. Yes. End of the year penis inspection will occur in the Riley Centre. The mandatory health inspection will be conducted on November 1st, beginning at lunch 12:25
Oh,
p.m.
fuck me. Damn it.
There will
My neighbour
be-
has just yucked a basketball over the fence.
Ah, shit. There will be one
Hang on, I'm just going to quickly hide
makeup
from him.
day on Friday, November 2nd, beginning at 9 a.m. All students
who have not already completed a penis inspection must attend one of these two mandatory sessions. All male students will be excused from all classes starting after the third period. In the event that a student fails to complete an inspection, the school will be required to contact the nearest medical facility for immediate examination. Please note, uncircumcised students should report to the uncircumcised line within the Riley Center. Circumcised students should report to the circumcised line within the
Riley Center. The traditional pass/fail judging system will be used.
Good news, guys. I'm back.
Oh,
Neighbour
back.
yucked basketball over fence. Basketball rolled onto road. Neighbour walked out into traffic. Neighbour's now dead.
Good to hear.
But he
Now,
did not see me.
He deserved it.
David, quiet, you're listening to my reading. Anyone who does not pass
That's horrible.
inspection will not be allowed to attend or participate in school events in the 2019 school year.
And school events.
And will be referred to a medical professional. Please
Alright.
ensure that all penises are clean and orderly. A fail will be given to disorderly penises. For any further information, please contact head of PI / penis inspector / full stop. Thank you for your understanding. Yours sincerely, Dick Isley, head of student health.
What is your response to that, David?
Yes.
It is
hot
clearly-
opinion, David.
It is clearly a joke. As
Why
if-
do you think it's a joke, David? Because if you saw this, it's actually very convincingly laid out. Like, I'm looking at it right
In
now.
our
and I would-
society, it is socially unacceptable and
Would you say,
socially-
David, that we live in a society?
In our,
That's a
soc-
good point.
in our society, it is socially unacceptable and socially unexpected to have genital inspections. It is considered a breach of consent, and there is no precedent. There is
Right.
no precedent.
David, two things. Aren't
this-
you aware that when we joined the school in year 9, they actually have us fill out a contract saying that they are entitled to inspect our penises anytime they like?
No.
Yes.
This feels like we're going into territory that we can't broadcast.
No, I'm sure. No, alright, I'll move away
Could
from
we
it.
not talk
David,
about
Isn't
genitals?
it the school's duty to
Jacob?
worry about
Jacob,
their students' health?
Jacob, we are not talking about genitals.
Not.
We are better
Okay,
than this.
This is in
We are
late
mature
night
people,
Shyamalan,
able to
not
have a mature
genital
discussion.
talk.
Yes, this is late night Shyamalan, not RedTube.
Okay. Alright, Jacob, do you have another question?
Let me, you know what, David, I'm gonna ask you a simple question. I think I've maybe asked you this during class before, during our pleasant conversations together, but I forget, and I think the audience at home are curious, but what are your future aspirations? At the moment, you know, you're a smart high school student excelling in all of his classes, but what
Not
next?
true. I'm
You're
not
doing better than most.
true.
So tell me, so what are your future aspirations and dreams?
Scientist.
Scientist?
Scientist.
I see.
Studying
So-
what? What will
Yeah.
you be sciencing?
Well, next year I'm taking all of the 3 key sciences: biology, physics, and chemistry.
What about earth science?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I want to learn
What
about
about-
earth.
Yeah, what about like religious science? Like,
Welcome to earth.
you need to learn about how God created this lovely green earth and gave us all life. Like, that's a very important part of science.
I'm trying very hard right now not to yell at you.
What, are
David,
you against
this-
Christians, David?
Not
Yeah.
specifically.
Not specifically Christians.
Alright.
Bible bashers, then.
Not specifically Bible bashers. I don't even know what that means.
Bible basher is somebody who bashes the Bible.
So David, why do you want to raise your voice at me? I just simply stated a hard fact that this earth is created by God, and all those who live on it are His children, and scientists are sinners who are trying to disprove God's good work.
This bit nicely coincides with the hymn section of our podcast. Where we sing various hymns.
I know
Now,
you're joking. I know you're joking.
I'd like us all to metaphysically grab each other's hands and
No!
bow our heads in
No!
in a short prayer.
You can't
Yes.
make me.
Alex, would you like to start? David,
Let's
please.
start the prayer.
You're in our podcast. Please have some decency and respect.
Are we all
No.
Are we all grabbing hands now? Are we all?
Yes, yes, Father Alex.
Are you ready? Our Father in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your
Science
kingdom come.
can prove everything.
Stop
potentially.
interrupting the word
God
of Jesus.
Cannot. God has not. God is stagnant and full and failure rich. He does not succeed. Is it
I
even a
reckon-
male? Why is
David,
it a male?
Look.
No,
look in
no,
the
don't look.
podcast Text chat. We have confirmed proof from the Wellington High School Twitter. That this penis inspection is
No,
happening
Jacob, we
tomorrow.
can't talk about this.
Okay,
This is slander.
God,
slander or education.
to
Okay,
be fair, God can never be disproven, but science makes God irrelevant.
okay.
And it has
I
been
see.
proven wrong on so many scales. It is not. There's no point to it anymore.
David Lindsay is against religion.
You heard it here first, guys. David Lindsay is against all religions, no matter the
Jews,
ethnicity.
Muslims, Christians, Hare Krishnas.
I will
all
quote.
of them.
I will quote. What's Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Who will you quote?
Neil
David, I have
deGrasse
some
Tyson.
science questions to ask you
Wait,
because you're clearly
just wait.
quite confident. In
I'm
the
going to
concept of
quote
science.
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Ah.
We don't bring
Neil deGrasse-
science
the black
into
science
the
man.
church, and we don't bring
I love the
religion
black
into the
science
science classroom. They are separate things. I will allow people to believe what they wish if it makes them happy. I will not have it interfering with the advance of science or the advance of humanity.
I see.
So when you
Okay,
say that
now-
scientists are all fake, and that God proves it all, and that scientists should be killed because they're sinners,
See,
or we should
now
stop
you
scientific
got the
advances
right
because
idea,
it goes
David.
against the Bible, that's when I take offense,
Okay.
because that is horrible. You shouldn't even
no,
say it
David.
as a joke.
Now, I would like to turn away from religion now and focus on cold, hard, throbbing, girthy science.
What?
Now,
Oh,
I have some.
oh yes, Alex.
I have some science questions for you, David.
Oh yes. Oh.
Are you
yes,
ready?
Hard farming science.
No, Jacob.
Oh yes.
I'm going-
Oh yes.
No!
Alex.
Are you ready, David? You're clearly quite well versed in science, and I'd like to ask you these questions because I'm
Relatively
curious.
well versed.
Okay, first question. If a movie theater sells 0 tickets to a particular movie, do they still run the projector even though nobody will be there to watch?
That depends on the. That depends on the movie theater specifically. Most likely, no, but they could. It could be a staff movie, or it could just be out of habit to get a free pay. But we don't know on the specifics of that because that's variable.
Second question. What if you just never stop when a police officer tries to pull you over?
They will catch up with you and they will stop you.
What if
And
my
they-
car is like a one of those fast cars, like a
Run
Ford
it-
Fiesta?
Running away just makes it much worse.
Okay.
And also you
second,
run out
third,
of gas at some
fourth-
point.
Third question. Does talking really scare away the fish, or is my mum full of shit?
Please don't swear.
Yeah.
Depends
This is a
on how loud you
Christian
talk.
This is
podcast.
a Christian podcast. Please don't swear.
Please don't swear. I agree with that from Christianity.
Okay.
Yes.
So, fish
Alright.
running away is them noticing that there's something dangerous around and they want to avoid the danger, such as when you put your finger in the water, it causes ripples through the water that alert the fish to your presence, making them run away. If you speak loud enough, you create vibrations in the water, creating that feeling of something big or dangerous entering the water, causing them to run away. So if you're loud enough, yes.
But I always wear my fish mask when I go to do it, so they know that I'm one of them.
You're not one of them, though.
Whoa, that's kind of racist. Okay, second to last
He is if he
question.
believes.
When someone dies, do they bury them with their braces on?
Depends. That's extremely variable.
If they have braces and they die, do they still keep the braces in, or do they bury them with the braces
That depends on the choices of the caretakers or whoever's in charge. Of
Actually,
the
on
funeral.
that point, how many like tons of great, good quality clothing and makeup are there buried underground?
Oh, quite a lot, actually. I expect probably
So what you're saying, David, is we should start grave robbing.
no.
Guys,
They're
David
like-
Lindsay supports grave robbing.
I do
Heard it
not-
here
You heard it here
first.
first.
I do not
31st
support.
of October 2018. David Lindsay, full supporter of the Let's Legalize Grave Robbing initiative.
I don't support grave robbing.
But you just said.
If
that
you want to
support
have a
grave robbing.
conversation about grave robbing, I can do that. It's not technically that bad of a thing because they're not really
See,
using
you
it.
support it.
Now
I
I have.
rest my case.
I never said that. I never said
Oh,
that.
that's not what I heard.
I said they're not using
Okay,
the makeup they have.
last question. Why is my scrotum losing its elasticity?
Well,
I'm
how-
terrified. I tripped over it the other day.
Oh boy.
I'm going to refer to this as if it were not a scrotum. Say it's. Say
Are
you're
you calling
holding
me
a
an animal?
coconut in a bag made out of rubber bands. Okay. I can't believe I'm doing
David.
this.
Alright, okay,
We
I
will
feel
keep
like
this
we're drawing to
conversation
the end
mature.
of the podcast.
We will keep
Wait,
this conversation
I
mature.
have one last question.
One last
I'm not
question
even done with
before.
that question.
David, one last question.
Okay.
So as you know, there are many ethnicities and in the world.
True.
And my question for you is: do you believe that there's one race that has, say, an intellectual advantage over another?
Due to education systems acting more upon them, or due to genetics?
Genetics.
I would say it hasn't been proven yet, and if it was, it would be such such a small difference that it wouldn't count. And because
Okay,
this
then
conversation
let's,
opens
dive
up so
into the
much to
education
racism, I'm not
side.
even gonna say.
Do you think that there is a specific race or ethnicity of a lesser intellect due to the education they have been provided in their part of the world or country, or a superior intellect?
Yes.
I
New Zealand
I mean
has
a superior intellect, not a
New
lesser
Zealand-
intellect. Sorry.
New Zealand has much worse education in the field of hunting and gathering compared to the native tribes of the Amazon. And the native tribes of the
but
Amazon.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about. Do you think that there's, say, all right? Let's, instead of ethnicity, let's break it down into white, black, Hispanic, Asian, all that sort of stuff. Do you think that there is a specific region or ethnicity that has a better education system, therefore more intellectually superior, when compared to other races?
Depends what you're basing them on. If you base it intelligence
School
on,
national average.
if you base the
What's that?
intelligence, could you please let me finish? If you base the intelligence on the factors that the European education system is best at teaching, then the Europeans are best at it, and which is what we base intelligence on.
So what you're telling me is that South Africans are not good teachers.
No.
Is that what I'm getting? Am I
I'm saying they're
detecting
not-
a hint of racism towards
No.
South Africans, David?
I'm saying that they're not taught the stuff that some of us base intelligence on, and therefore are deemed less intelligent, where that's not accurate.
I see. Alright.
Are they taught stuff that that culture is basing intelligence over?
Probably yes. And we don't know at all, so we are very dumb to them.
What do you feel that New Zealand endorses in terms of intelligence?
Algebra, maths,
So
big
more
numbers.
theoretical knowledge.
Yeah, we're more abstract, I'd say. More numbers. Yeah.
How do you feel our education system compares to the education system in, say, England?
I don't know the differences. I'm sorry.
You don't. Okay. Would you?
I
I
couldn't
feel
say.
like they would be quite similar,
Probably, but
especially in most first world countries. Though the specifics are, probably quite different, given that we use different marking systems and stuff like that. I'd say that the education system is quite similar throughout. What a bombshell to end on, actually. I think so.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that's a really solid place to end.
Yeah, that was a really good podcast.
Yeah.
All right, okay. Thank you, David. Just
Yeah.
we need to have the outro again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Who's gonna do it this time?
I'll do it this time. How did the outro
Wait,
go
Leo,
again
Leo,
last-
can you give us like an intro?
Hello. This is us. Yeah.
And now can you give us an outro?